Welcome to Nerd Wars, and you guessed it, I have cracked the case. Sweet Baby Inc. is or maybe is not race swapping characters. Maybe I haven't cracked the case yet. My argument is it's the publishers and studios doing it, and then they bring Sweet Baby Inc. in to, seal the deal on that race swap or DEI, whatever they want to do. The woke seal of approval checkmark. So they are part of the process of all the race swap DEI stuff, but they're not the root cause of it. But, might have more on that now. From our good friends at That Park Place. Rumor, Compulsion Games race swapped their main character after hiring Sweet Baby Inc. We got him, boys. We got him. A new rumor claims that Compulsion Games, a subsidiary of Xbox Game Studios, reportedly race swapped their main character for their upcoming game, South of Midnight, I have not heard of, after Sweet Baby Inc. was brought on board to consult. Of course, the rumor comes from Grummz, who would have guessed it, exclusive. Microsoft Xbox mandates changes at studios, hire Sweet Baby Inc., erases white characters. I spoke to ex-devs at two different studios who say DEI is ruining and altering games and studio culture. That's why I have to start my consulting firm, White Male Gamers. So that way we can consult to let them know what the majority demographic want out of their video games. Changes happen after Xbox meddling. I've reasonably confirmed that the devs I spoke to used to work the studios in questions, Avalanche and Compulsion Games. Both studios are also listed on the Sweet Baby Detected website. And by that, he accidentally meant sweetbabyinc.com. Microsoft made a splash at GDC announcing their product inclusion guidelines for all their studios. GDC, the mecca for all these crazy woke people in video games. Such changes have been reported elsewhere as woke, including defeminization of female characters. Save us, Stellar Blade Booty. And of course, they cite widely discredited studies as their basis. Microsoft claims they do not mandate these guidelines, but in fact, they make sweeping changes at the studios they publish/partner with. We didn't do nothing. And that's what started my figuring out what the heck SBI is actually doing, because we kind of accused them of a lot because the website certainly seemed like they were doing a lot, but then they're like, we didn't do nothing. So I'm like, I'm a games journalist now, which means I have to take off the sunglasses so my autofocus actually works. Thanks, autofocus. Wait, what? What's this? Xbox releases Gaming for Everyone Product Inclusion Framework for Game Developers, GDC 2024? Weird. We'll get to it here shortly. So, anonymous rumors, but, interesting. Still sounds like, though, Xbox is the one behind these. So, Sweet Baby Inc., they didn't do nothing? I think they may have done something. Alleged changes after Microsoft involvement include hiring of a DEI director, hiring of a consulting firm to gender balance and review hiring/promotion policies, hiring a Sweet Baby Inc. to work on the published games. I've been authoritatively told they didn't do nothing. So far, the evidence is they come in a little late, but we're going to get them. They're going to be the reason something race swapped. I know it. Both studios underwent these changes after Microsoft and Sweet Baby Inc. involvement. One of the biggest changes to the games were alteration of the character creation system in Contraband to remove gender differences and allow for random swapping of distinct male-female body parts, facial hair, and more. Yeah, like your downstairs bits in Cyberpunk. But it didn't stop there. After SBI was brought on board Compulsion Games South of Midnight, the main character was race swapped from white to black. Did we get him, boys? Did we get him? The main character of Hazel was swapped shortly after SBI involvement from white to black. Did we get him, boys? What? Okay. Wait, what? The implication was that publishing money was pulling the strings, mandating studio changes in hiring of DEI staff and consultants, and altering the games. The call was coming from inside the house all along. And just keep in mind, Microsoft just bought Activision Blizzard. So all the crazy wokeness of there is about to combine. Oh, Lord. These changes do not seem organic, but the result of forced policies that come from the very top, powered by publishing influence and funding. Microsoft and Xbox product inclusion guidelines are more mandatory than claimed. All this crap starts out as guidelines, and then it's, we'll just do it to be nice. And then, you kind of gotta do it, and then it's mandatory to do it. Also, subscribe to Grummz. He's doing excellent work. And of course, allegedly. Did we get them, boys? We may have. I'm still holding out for Spider-Man 2 Deaf Black Girl spray painting. For God of War Ragnarok, Sweet Baby specifically worked on making Angerbadura depicted as a black character more relatable to black audiences, despite the game's Norse mythology setting. As a supporting character, there had been concerns that it would feel like Angerbadura's purpose didn't matter in the grand scheme of the narrative. But rather than shy away from this, Blair says the solution was to make it more diegetic, bro. Because that's the thing, in a lot of the stuff that they do, especially the bigger stuff where they're playing a smaller role on it, they come in to already wokeified characters and then they make them more authentic. But they really, really want to do all of the race swapping. It's just sometimes they get hired and companies don't really always listen to everything they say and they're kind of far along in the process. But some of these, they're getting in kind of early. So I know we're going to get them on something. I know it. But also, they're not to blame completely for all the race swapping and crazy wokeification. A lot of that's already in there before they come in. But then they are most certainly part of that process. But the originator of it, I'm going to find out. But the evidence isn't as clear as we had previously assumed. Kabrutus ran into it trying to figure out what to actually have on the list. That's why he had to remove a bunch, because the evidence wasn't quite as strong and clear as I would hope as a games journalist. Sorry for the flashbang. Saga Anderson, that's Alan Wake 2, another one we assumed they did the race swapping. For creating Saga, the developers in Remedy took a different approach compared to the process behind other hero characters, resulting in a more organic creative collaboration across different disciplines at Remedy Entertainment and outside parties. All right, we got them, boys. Along with working with story and narrative consultant Kim Belair of SBI to refine the character voice and story arc, refine to make more authentic the race swap character and story arc. They do actually do writing as well. We can't forget that part. They do actually write stuff. It's not all just wokeification, but that is what they would prefer to be doing the most of. The key creatives in Alan Wake 2 also worked extensively with the actress playing Saga, Melanie Liburd, who offered suggestions and other insights that led to the Saga Anderson scene in the final game. So not just SBI, but did SBI do it all? Or did they done do the race swap? I think that it took us a long time to find Saga. It was an interesting process. We had an idea in our head of what that character could be, but then as the character evolves over time because of SBI, being open to changing her based on input from the actors and from external sources really opened things up for us. I think that's important for us as a studio to be okay with, because we don't do it very often for our characters. This idea of how to create a new hero character. So it was a kind of a big moment for us. And it was definitely interesting for me going through that process. So did they race swap her or not? When it came to making Saga, it was about ensuring that one of the leads, a person of color who is a core to the story, had a clear role that complements Alan's side, but also works independently as its own Oh, did they race swap her or not? So this is one that seems like they did race swap her, because there's some other stuff where they talk about how they based her around the actress. So is it just because they like this actress and then that's why they race swapped her? Or they like the actress and SBI was like, Risk, we're going to stick Twitter after you. Risk, give us money. We're going to be authentic. Also Risk. So this is one where it sounds like the company certainly went along with it. This one's up in the air, but definitely goes in the category of it's a collaborative effort to be ruining games with wokeness. Now, something like Usual June, where it says developed by Finji Company with Sweet Baby Inc. They're all about Sweet Baby Inc.'s the collaborator and what have you. Honestly, I probably would have thought this was a Black Girl Gamers. So something like this, they don't even have to do the race swap. And originally, they're probably just like already Afro Girl in collaboration with Sweet Baby. See? Something like this, Sweet Baby, they definitely did something. Now, the really bigger games, the Spider-Man 2s, I know they did something on there. But it is possible they didn't do nothing. Part of the process, certainly, but just a small part. But they definitely did something here and there. And in Contraband, did they do it? Maybe, possibly, allegedly, according to a rumor. Speaking of rumors, did you know the protagonist of Flintlock used to be white? When COO and casting director Andrea Tops Harjo joined that studio, her first actions were to change the character, to hire Sweet Baby Inc. and change the main character to a POC. This marked the beginnings of the problems with the game and studio. So there was a COO, and then they came and POC'd with the SBI because of the DEI, but the COO, it's one giant incestuous blob of wokeness. They're all to blame, and we are also to blame for letting them do this. The state of the game is unknown at this time, but is believed to be in shambles after this 2-year round of DEI changes. Whoops. Allegedly. So what was that we were talking about earlier? Xbox launches new resource to help developers add inclusion into their games. GDC 2024. If you don't intentionally include, you will unintentionally exclude. And if you unintentionally exclude, we will unintentionally exclude you. But it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory. But we will intentionally exclude you. The framework is not a checklist. It's not a mandate. Even internally, it's not that at all. It's just a way for you to get your game into the hands of more players in a meaningful way. Also, if you want to work for us, you'll do it. It's not a mandate, though. It's not a checklist, but you're going to do it. Okay? Also, we didn't do nothing. It's about making gaming for everybody, which has made gaming for nobody. So what do you think, gamers? Did SBI, is this one giant conspiracy of theirs? Did they carry it out to take over the industry? Man, no, probably not. Did they do nothing? No, definitely not. Should we be looking at the entire industry for all these crazies? Absolutely. Article and documentary incoming. Getting close to 20K, please God subscribe. I need to listen more content to know about me so I can make it in her hit piece. I don't ask for much, guys.